Welcome to my Alan Levine, the Talking Machine show. This is my 16th show. Thank you for watching my shows on BPTV. Thanks for watching them on YouTube. And thanks for all our new friends and fans watching right now. As you know, I'm Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, and I have a great guest today. Wait till you hear what he's doing in Pittsburgh, a local guy too. And I'm going to have him introduce himself right now. Guest, will you please tell us your name?
Al, great having you and I interact here. My name is Joe Sipley.
Thank you. All right, I got some questions. First, you're local, but where'd you grow up?
Al, I grew up on Pittsburgh's north side.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah,
now North Shore, they fancied it up.
Yeah, well, I still, now when I slip into my Pittsburghese, it's north side, you know, but it.
Well, we got downtown, south side,
yeah,
so
all
we'll
that good
cover
stuff,
that.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, so right
I
off.
try not to talk that way,
yeah,
but it's in me.
Yeah, right off the main drag, right off of East Ohio Street there.
Oh, you're kidding.
On the north side, yeah.
We had shows on my Pittsburgh sports line at the Park House.
Know it very well.
Yeah.
Know it very well.
The owner just got out, Zamir, but he was great there. So
Absolutely.
Good memories. And where'd you go to school then?
Grade school, for the most part, I went to St. Peter's Catholic school down there by the park, West Park.
Oh, okay.
High school, I went to North Catholic High School.
Oh, okay. I know a bunch of people that have over the years.
Right.
I know a lot of those North Siders.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Grew up with them growing up in Greentree. So
Right.
Understand it. Did you go to college?
Went to Robert Morris College is where I graduated from. Went to Pitt for a little bit
Okay.
and then transferred over to Robert Morris
You were
College.
trying to find yourself.
I'm still trying to find myself, Al.
Okay.
Some people would rather I stay lost, but that's okay.
I understand. me being a sports guy, I got asked, did you play any sports?
You know, Al, I didn't really, believe it or not, I didn't
No
play
way.
anything organized. But, you know, I was a beneficiary of being involved with a boys club on the north side,
very
Sarah
good.
Hines House.
Yes.
And there I learned all the sports. You know, I
Sure.
was fairly athletic, but again, never really got into too much of the organized sports.
No, it happens in our area with just the timing of it and different teams in certain places
Right.
and what your friends are into and what you're not and
Right,
all that other
right.
good stuff. Well, what did you study in college?
I ended up being a business management major with a
Okay.
focus in human resources and psychology.
Wow, what a combination.
Well, yeah.
I like it. No wonder we get along.
Yeah.
You've been analyzing these since we met a few months ago. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. No
Now I
worries.
understand that. And what was your first job then after college?
Believe it or not, my very first job
Okay.
after college was unloading trucks at the loading dock at McGee Women's Hospital.
You're kidding.
No, there's a story behind that.
I'm waiting to hear.
Yeah, well, I was on sort of the 5-year program.
Understand.
My wife, who, again, I'm still working my way up to deserving.
And I met your great wife at Cadence Clubhouse and half of your family.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Kathy was great talking to her, and she showed some interest in what I do.
yeah. Well, I'm very blessed to have a great family. And, you know, when Kathy and I met and Kathy graduated, you know, again, I was still kind of finding my way.
Understand.
So I was finishing school, and actually, while I was finishing school, believe it or not, I was bartending at Houlihan's old place down on the south side.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so that was
yeah.
interesting. But my very first job upon graduation was unloading trucks because I was married at the time.
Sure.
We were expecting our first child,
Understand that.
and
Needed the money.
needed money, needed benefits. You know, so
Those are
had,
important.
Had to do whatever I could, and it was the '80s, and it was, you know, jobs were tough to come by, so
Oh, yeah.
you do whatever you have to do.
No, I know those times. And my aunt worked in McGee's Hospital. She lived in Oakland and worked there for years till she
Yeah,
retired.
well, it was a great
So-
place. You know, again, I eventually kind of found my way. I went from working in the storeroom, and then I became a supervisor in the housekeeping department of
Wow.
all things.
Your degree come through.
Yeah, I guess. And then eventually I got into what was my field for a large part of my career, which was human resources.
Okay.
And I started my HR career at McGee.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, that is interesting. No, and you want to say hi to your family or anything? You can do a shout out to them right now.
Hi guys, you know all my crew there, kids, grandkids, Kath, hi.
All right, we got that out of the way. And so how long did you stay at McGee?
All told, I was there for about 5 years.
Okay.
Again, as I said,
Well,
eventually
you'd moved up, so.
yeah, I got into HR, and at the time, you know, I was looking to advance my career. I had two very amazing young female supervisors ahead of
Wow.
me. So, you know, I ended up making a change, ended up making a move.
Right.
And actually went to a number of places, but, you know, my first move out of McGee was Ryan Holmes. I was a corporate recruiter for Ryan Holmes.
That's a nice big place.
Yeah, yeah. It
And
was
you know, I
interesting.
know plenty of people. I met Ed Ryan at the Meadows.
I met Ed as well. Yeah, he was
Very
a
nice
good gentleman.
man.
Yeah,
Yes.
yep, quite a gentleman.
No, he truly was. All right, so now you're looking to the future. What was your next plan then?
You know, Al, I was
Or
blessed.
you just were freewheeling it?
Yeah, kind of. You know, I mean, I always kind of had to, I guess, the good fortune of having change thrust upon me. Ryan Holmes, at the time when I was at Ryan Holmes, I was a corporate recruiter. And right at that point, Ryan got bought out by NVR Homes.
I remember that.
And they moved the corporate headquarters down to McLean, Virginia.
Yeah.
And I had the option of either, you know, obviously moving to McLean, but again, we had a young family, we had a good support
You don't
system.
have to explain.
Yeah,
You're
well,
a Pittsburgher.
yeah,
It's in our blood. We're not
exactly.
leaving. What are you talking to me about?
Right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
What'd you do?
well, you know, I obviously had to find a job, started looking for a job. I didn't go there.
Sure.
Became an assistant director of human resources at Montefiore Hospital.
That's another good one.
It was awesome, but as it turned out, that was right at the time that UPMC, as we know, was forming. You know, they had all those independent Oakland
yes.
hospitals, so they were pulling them all together and kind of eliminating redundancies. You know, so they didn't need all these HR people. So
I understand when you see UPMC Montefiore, because I knew Montefiore, and
yeah.
that's where I had my kidney transplant. Then you see UPMC,
yeah,
Presbyterian,
yeah,
and all the rest.
yeah. So started again looking on a job search. You know,
Sure.
You know, by that time I became an expert in looking for work. So
We all get our little niches there.
yeah, exactly. So I got an opportunity to become the director of human resources at Divine Providence Hospital on
Wow.
Pittsburgh's north side.
Yeah.
You know, across from our famous aviary.
Yes. I
And,
know where it's at.
Yeah, enjoyed that tremendously. Was there for a couple years.
Sure.
But then actually got recruited, if you will, found out about an opportunity at Pittsburgh Public Schools.
Okay.
And that was a great opportunity career-wise.
Sure. You're building this resume, I sense.
Yeah, well, it's being built.
Inadvertently.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's by chance.
being built for me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I spent about 10 years, almost 10 years
schools.
at Pittsburgh Public Schools.
Wow.
As a human resources professional. Handled a variety of things like, you know, again, recruiting and placement of teachers and
Oh, I can only imagine
yeah,
with
it
all
was-
the changes and all the things that constantly are coming up,
yeah.
let alone changes in government and funding and everything else that go into it.
Yeah. And again, like I said, it was a great.
You're just walking down the block and seeing what comes up.
Well, and again, once again, it's kind of like what's forced on you because, you know, almost at my 10-year mark, and again, that was at the time where, you know, Pittsburgh Public never had any budget problems. Seemed like they were all, you know, everything
Right.
was just.
Smooth.
I thought I was going to retire from there.
Really?
But as it turned out, they decided that they needed to make some cuts. I was, believe it or not, the junior person in the office
After 10 years.
after 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and
There's some lifetimers there.
yeah. So once again, found myself looking for work.
Yeah.
Happens.
For
And-
you especially.
Yeah, right.
I'm
you know.
noticing a pattern here,
Yeah,
Joe.
well, you know, it all works out. It all works out. I'm blessed, you know, it's probably divine providence, but
Well, I believe in God, so we don't know
Likewise.
his plan.
likewise,
Definitely.
yeah. So it was with Pittsburgh Public, and then you know, again, like I said, got accessed out there, and it was tough. That was tough looking around for a while. Actually got a job with Mastech, which is now
Wow.
iGate.
Right.
And that was kind of an interesting job.
I'll bet. Yeah, a little
IT,
change.
a little
Yeah, a
big
little change.
you know, and
You need that technology like we discussed.
yeah, it was an interesting, very, very enlightening, again, if you will.
Sure. And probably needed for you in your career.
It was good. It was really very, very good. Again, you know, kind of exposed me to a lot of
Give me
different
the
things.
short term that you were there. How many years?
I was
2
there a
or
year and a
3?
half.
Okay. How did I know short term?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's because, again, when I left Pittsburgh Public and I got onto Mastech, I had to take a little bit of a step back, you know, financially, which was fine.
Sure.
You know, that happens.
Right.
But then I got a call from a very dear friend of mine from Allegheny County,
Okay.
and he said, "Hey, Joe, why don't you come on board as the Director of Human Resources for Allegheny County?" I'm like, "Okay, hey." He said, "Look, but total disclosure," he said, "there's a referendum to potentially change the form of government. Currently, at the time, it was the 3-commissioner government."
Sure. I remember those days. Yep.
And he said, "You know, quite frankly, we could all be out of a job within a year." Now, of course, by this point in time, no big deal, right? No big deal.
Let me in.
Yeah, hey. And I thought, you know, this is another good opportunity. You know, good experience, good contacts,
And it looks great on the resume.
and it looks great on the resume.
Except for all the moves.
Right.
And then you can explain away like you did to our fans and me
Right.
on why and how.
Right.
So
So again, I was like, yeah, you know, I'm in. You know,
Put me in.
you
put
know,
me in, coach.
Yeah. You know, so took on the role of you know, Director of HR for Allegheny County. Once again, great opportunity.
Sure.
And sure enough, the form of government changed.
And
Jim
out the
Roddy,
door he went.
Jim Roddy came in, and Jim was awesome. I love Jim, but you know, Jim ended up bringing his own people in.
Sure. That usually happens.
Yeah, and I knew that. I knew that up front, you know, and that was
Right.
okay. I was thankful for it. Bob Webb, you know, was the county manager at the time, and,
Okay.
and he was very gracious and still a good guy.
Nice
Great
to
guy.
hear. Yeah.
And yeah, so then at that point, I'm like, okay, what am I doing here?
you got to ask that.
Yeah, I took a step back. I'm like, okay, this HR thing, you know, it seems I'm kind of destined to bounce around here. But
Right.
I really did some introspection and thought, you know, I'm going to make a change. So I had
So
some
you're
good,
going to look seriously.
yeah, look seriously. So I had some good contacts, and
Of course, with all the places you've
Absolutely,
been at,
right,
leaving a
absolutely.
good reputation.
absolutely, and so I had an opportunity to find out about a job at Highmark.
I know that name well.
Thank you. Great organization. And, you know, I had an opportunity to get involved there, and it was a job that was working really uniquely with organized labor, sort of as an advocate, you know, a trusted advisor.
You're preaching to the choir
Yeah.
here. I had 36 years of union negotiated contracts, which I did 6 of them, multi-million-dollar contracts, and they were self-insured, and I found out how that works, and Highmark was the insurer.
Right. Okay.
So
okay.
I shared a couple lessons. I won't bring them up on
Okay,
air,
okay.
but I had an interesting career. And how many people today can say that they had insurance with one insurance company for 36 years?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, again, like you said, Highmark and the Blues, of course, you know, nationwide, have been a rock for, you know, organized labor. You know, actually, pretty much started because of organized
To
labor.
me,
a
it
lot.
was, it was a lot of people disunions and stuff, and they had a need and they served a purpose, and that's changed now. Unions are only 6% of the country, if you need to know.
Right.
But we don't want to talk about where the jobs all went.
Right.
And we went through that. I got through it, and it just went hand in a glove.
Yeah.
Is what I noticed, and there was a great confidence in working with Highmark.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah,
and we had great coverage. I'll share that. Let me emphasize, great coverage.
and still is today.
Yeah.
And still is today.
I wanted you to
No,
chime in.
I appreciate that. But
Because you're still there.
Yeah, absolutely. So my job with Highmark, you know, again, as I said, it was, and it still is today, really mostly focuses on organized labor. And that was a result of some of these past jobs and the relationships that I had with labor leaders at Allegheny County, Pittsburgh Public
Oh,
Schools.
sure.
You know, I developed a good respect with those guys across the table.
Right.
You know,
For folks that maybe don't understand the union history here, Pittsburgh was a hotbed of unionism for 100 years or more.
Right.
So that's only natural. And the relationships, you're a relationship guy. That's why we're friends and
Absolutely.
you're on the show.
Absolutely.
So I can only imagine your list of friends.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I mean,
Yeah,
really, really,
truly.
really blessed.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Me also.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now you got into it, you're working with different unions and things.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it's, you know, I've been there now. I have been at Highmark for a little over 20 years.
Let me write that down.
Yeah, right. So there you go. There.
We're going to end the show on
Yeah,
that
right,
happy
right.
note.
We could stop there.
Oh, hold it. We have more.
Yeah, yeah.
It's time out. We got more.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
more than that. And you worked with my union at the Post-Gazette and Press.
Sure.
Post-Gazette
Yep.
mostly at that time.
Yep. Knew a lot of guys there.
Right.
Danny
He knew
Zorich.
one of my presidents. It was a friend, Dan Zorich.
Yep.
He knew another guy, Jimmy Lowen, with the
Yep.
printers.
Jimmy. Yep.
And you know, a couple others from the Teamsters and JoJo and people like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
So we got connections more than I found out. Shout out to Jessica Lee for introducing us. And she said, I would like Joe. So let me confirm, Jess, I like Joe.
Oh, there you go. I'm blessed to have awesome people in my life, and
Yes.
I now account you that among one of them.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. No, so this is very interesting with what you're doing. But now we got to come to, at this stage of your life, I'm talking to you because I went to a great show that Jessica Lee did at Cadence Clubhouse.
Right.
And there's an organization you work with called Variety. Could you explain that?
Yeah, and let me just take a step back about Cadence and Jessica.
Sure.
And Cadence Clubhouse is part of a organization, Pro Bike and Run.
Yes.
So
I'm
that's
familiar. Thanks for putting it out to the people there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great organization. We were able to make some inroads there with the management and the staff.
I call it you building a relationship again.
Yes, once again. So, you know, and Jessica was another relationship that I was blessed to be able to
Sure.
come into my life. So, so Jessica and I had been kicking around an idea of doing some things. She's an amazing jazz vocalist, as you very well know, and Mark
I do
Strickland
shows with
is
her, yes.
right. So
I'm a
Mark-
huge fan.
Yeah, Mark on the guitar. So
A one-man band, legendary guitar man in Pittsburgh.
Amen. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So we started kicking around the concept of doing some things using music and using it in a way that, you know, we could maybe support various charities.
And that's right up Jess's
Absolutely.
alley.
And support the musicians too, because of course, as you know,
With both, it's a double.
during this COVID period, it's been really tough for everybody, and,
Right.
and musicians are, you know, no exception. So
We need them.
yeah, absolutely.
And
so,
they even help us to heal.
Amen. Yeah, amen. So we put on a little event right before the Thursday, right before Halloween,
Yes.
and it was really fantastic. I think we raised some awareness, and we focused on, we picked variety, and
Sure.
and I picked variety out of the gate because, quite frankly, you know, I became aware of variety initially through Highmark. Highmark
Okay.
was the corporate sponsor of their inaugural.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
they started out a program called My Bike, and Highmark was the corporate sponsor, is the corporate sponsor.
Sure.
And so I was always aware of variety and these wonderful bikes, pieces of
Well,
equipment.
thanks for explaining how you met them and
Yeah, it was
became a part of it, because you're actually, you're a trustee on there? Or?
Well, I'm an advisory board member.
Okay, I wasn't sure the designation.
No, yeah,
Yes.
that's okay. But
I lost it with all your titles.
Yeah, it's understandable. But I became aware of it through, like, again, as I said, through Highmark, but also the current chief executive officer, and he likes to, his title he prefers is chief excitement officer.
Okay.
Is Charlie LaValle.
Okay.
And Charlie and I became friends because Charlie was the executive director of the Caring Place
Oh, okay.
before he then moved on to Variety. And,
Understand.
and that's how I got involved with the advisory board. Is Charlie?
Well,
reached-
nonprofits go to other nonprofits because
right.
they're doing better for
Exactly.
people, and they're out there helping, and we need these nonprofits.
Yeah, I mean they do
And
such tremendous work.
Pittsburgh's a great town from my experience with helping nonprofits, hence that I'm helping to get this out there and get the word out for all of you. And if they have a Facebook page, I've liked it. Go out there and like their page and check out what they do, because we're going to dig a little deeper with Joe now that he's in an area for 20 years and variety for the last so many years.
Right,
So,
right.
And can you explain about the My Bike thing that initiated this?
Yeah, so
and then
really
we can get deeper into it.
So in general, the mission in general of Variety is really taking kids with disabilities,
Sure.
various challenges, and enable them to be kids. I mean, again, I mentioned the My Bike program, which was, again, their inaugural program.
Right.
And when you think about really kind of, childhood benchmarks, what do you come? First thing you think is riding a bike, right? And so, Variety really felt that, that should be an experience that all of our kids should experience. And so My Bike is a program that takes individual children with their challenges,
Yes.
who want to show their abilities.
Right.
And
you want to try to give them a normal childhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
In spite of all these disabilities.
Sure.
And they can be integrated.
Absolutely.
And have fun. And live like a child.
Absolutely. So each of these pieces of equipment, first of all, each child, they apply, and they have to be medically approved because safety is paramount. So, the child, either through their occupational therapist, physical therapist, they get approved to be able to be on a bike.
Doctors and everything probably sign off.
Right.
Okay.
And then each child is individually fitted for their needs.
So these are custom bikes just for them?
Just for them.
Wow,
just
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, some of our children need more trunk support, or some can steer on their own, or some may need a steering mechanism.
I saw the great yellow and black bike at the mother, I forget her name.
Heidi.
Yeah, and her daughter Natalie.
Yep.
Yeah, Natalie I just bonded with her. Just a great person.
Yeah, but again, I said these bikes, they're transformative, right? And
I saw it.
Yeah, and each one is crafted individually. We have our partner up in New York, Rifkin, that puts our bikes together.
Oh, okay.
And Blackburn is our durable medical supply company, a partner that fits these kids.
Nice partners.
So it's a great partnership. These are amazing people. And then these children are presented their bikes, and when they get those, Al, I mean, the joy on their faces, to see the joy on their faces, and to hear the impact that it makes on their families, coming from like mom, dad, grandparent, siblings.
Right.
Charlie always gets those folks involved in.
Sounds like a great team.
It's incredible. It's incredible. So again, like I said, the My Bike was the inaugural program, and in working with them, in listening to our parents, we realized there was other needs. So we then went to My Stroller, which is a medical piece of equipment.
Right.
And then the most recent thing, which really is a cool thing, is called My Voice. I've
heard about it. Yeah, you guys were talking about it.
Which is an iPad that the child
Natalie
gets.
Doesn't speak except with that product there, that machine.
Right. And there's so many great stories that have come as a result of these.
Share one.
I will tell you that there was a story of a family whose child was nonverbal.
Yeah.
And through being able to use the device, was able to tell her mom that I love you.
Yeah.
So
how special
imagine
is that?
Yeah, right. And then there's another story with My Voice where a child, because they were working with that so much, and again, they also have a device at school and a program at school, but they can't take those home.
Okay.
But because of all the work that they were doing, the child actually was able then to be able to verbalize. So
you're kidding.
No,
what a blessing.
It's amazing.
This is such a great group to be able to do
it. It really is. I mean,
I could understand what you're doing there.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, the staff at Variety, it's a very small staff. Initially, we were just covering the 29 counties of western Pennsylvania. We are now into 71 counties, touching Philadelphia, because Philadelphia has their own Variety.
They're like their own country.
Yeah, right, exactly.
but no offense meant, Philly.
Nope. but we're there, and then we're in northern West Virginia.
Are you? Great.
So we got 71 counties covered, and they're operating with a small but mighty staff. So
Sure. Now, how do people that may have children with disabilities, or maybe even themselves, with other family and friends, how do they get a hold of Variety?
well, they can go on their website, VarietyPittsburgh, all spelled out, .org.
Okay.
Easily enough, they can get on there.
And do whatever they want to
There's
get
an
a hold of you.
application for the equipment, and the cool thing about the application is, Al, that like most pieces, really most normal pieces of medical equipment that are covered by insurance, you can only be eligible for one, and only for one for a certain
Right.
period of time.
Tell them the great thing.
Yeah, at Variety you can get all three. If your child needs all
I
three,
had to bring it out because I couldn't keep it secret. They
Right.
told me, and to me, that is amazing.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah. When you think about it, for instance, each one of those bikes are about $1,800 a piece.
Wow.
And the same thing probably with each of the other pieces of equipment.
And they pay nothing for these
They
bikes
pay absolutely
and equipment.
nothing at all.
Just want to emphasize that.
Absolutely.
This is a true nonprofit helping in our community.
Yeah, and
71 communities.
and the other thing that most people don't realize, because when they hear medical equipment,
Sure.
typically you have to have a qualifier, a income qualifier.
Sure.
And usually that's poverty level or whatnot.
Right.
Our families can be making a household income. A family of four can be making a household income of $132,500.
So it opens it up for more people.
It opens it up tremendously. Folks that would never thought that they would be able to be qualified for this
Right.
can apply.
You're pumping me up more than I even imagined.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's hard to do.
It is, but thank you very much. I'm just so glad I got you on there. And people, go to varietypittsburgh.org and get all this information. Help your children, your families out, and no cost to you. And look at Joe vouch for it. I'll vouch for it now. Just glad to have him on with this.
Absolutely. We're always looking for folks. We're looking for families, children, and again the age range is phenomenal too. It's anything from 3 to 21, up through their 21st birthday.
Up to 21 years old.
Up to 21 years old.
Wow.
And quite frankly, that's pretty tremendous.
That is, in this day
so,
and age, that's
so
tremendous.
folks are aware of people that could benefit from this, and then of course on the other side of things, anybody that would be interested in donating, that's also able to be done through the website.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up. You
Yeah.
can donate to them, even if it's $1, it'll help.
Absolutely.
And it goes to a good cause. So anything you can afford to donate. You got the Al Levine, the Talking Machine recommendation.
Yeah, awesome.
And-
Can't get better than that.
No, and we're doing this to help promote and get some more interest in it and get it out to the people in the streets of Pittsburgh here.
Absolutely.
And thank you for Joe being here. Any last word that you want to put out on this that you may want to close with, or did we cover everything?
No, I think we got everything covered, Al. I just want to thank you for having me on, being able to talk about Variety. I mean, there's a whole list of other nonprofits that I'm involved with, so we can come back again and
Guess
talk about
what?
some of them.
We'll hold the door open for you. I got a guest list that's here, but we snuck you in on this
Awesome.
one. I had an
Awesome.
opening because
Awesome.
of somebody not making it.
Yeah.
And I put you right in because I wanted to get you on to get the great word out
Well, thank you.
about Variety. Should I call it Variety Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's Variety Pittsburgh. Variety,
org.
the children's charity.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
at
why
Pittsburgh,
I
right.
kept seeing the Children's
Yeah,
Charity
yeah.
on Facebook.
Right.
So I just wanted to get it all clarified.
Yeah, but it's Pittsburgh because again, each city usually has their own what they call tent because it's based on the entertainment
right.
model.
No, and that's what I wanted to get out because we left it a little open on here, but now we got the specifics. Please donate. Please help your own family and spread the word to people that need something like this.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for our next Talking Machine show. Great 16th show. Have a great day.